Texas, of all teams and organizations that I thought, wow, they're aligned. They have a cohesive idea and vision for what they're doing. They go on the road, they lose to Florida, and it was ugly. And give Billy Napier credit, man. They're a tough team to beat at home in the Swamp, especially against top 10 ranked teams. And they're a lot better than what they put on tape this season. Florida's a totally different conversation for a different time. But the conversation is, what's wrong with Texas? And I said this with Miami and Mario Cristobal, and it's just something that keeps showing up to me. Top 3 teams in the country have the 3 best offensive line units. I've said it, I'll say it again. And we wonder, what's wrong with Arch Manning? What's wrong with Garrett Nussmeier? Let me start with the offensive line play has not nearly been as good as it was advertised to be. And this is my point. Texas went out, flipped their entire defensive line because they felt like that was a real weakness. And they invested in that unit. And for the most part, that unit's held up okay. And then you look at Kyle Flood's unit on the offensive line, and it's been a little bit of a mess. I get it. Gooseby gets hurt at the beginning of the season. He's been dealing with an injury. But your left side of your offensive line, really your left guard, your center, interior pressure for a young quarterback, and in terms of instilling confidence, playing on time, developing rhythm, that is not a good place for the levees to break. And that's what's happening with Texas right now. And there's no run game. Texas and LSU can't run the ball, having a hard time protecting their quarterbacks. Skill position, good enough. Running backs, good enough. Quarterback, been below average this year. It's called a spade a spade. And that might be even being nice. But it's hard to give that guy a chance if you're not giving him a chance. And here's the thing, what has Kyle Flood done since one of his first cycles in Austin, where he had Banks and Cam Williams and Jake Majors? What do we have to show for it right now? And if you're Texas, you're the number 1 team in the country going into the first week of the season against Ohio State. And this is really what I talk about with offensive line development. You have to know what you have with your offensive line, especially when you have so much money invested in your quarterback position. It's not good enough just to say, I hope that guy is where we need him to be. And part of the offensive line development plan should be getting these young guys snaps so you have a better picture of what the year after looks like and what the clarity of that is. And I think a lot of these teams will learn. I think Steve Sarkisian will learn that. But when I look at Texas and where this thing has really kind of gone wrong, and there are a lot of places it's gone wrong, I look at the offensive line and I start there and say, okay, what do you need for a young quarterback to be successful? Need the play caller? Check. Got one of the best in the business. Need the playmakers? Check. Got some young, talented guys. Youthful, inexperienced, but talented. And we need to protect them. I don't know. Okay, so there's one problem with Texas. And you have no balance. No balance whatsoever. And then with the quarterback play, it's frantic. It's all frantic. I mean, it just looks discombobulated. It looks rushed. Go watch Ty Simpson play against Vanderbilt and watch Arch Manning play against Florida. And then just look at the command and the poise of the position. And I'm bringing that up because Ty was a guy that hadn't played a ton. He sat for 3 years. Much like Arch has done over the last couple of years. And in terms of the way that each of those two is navigating the offense, completely different. And Ty Simpson playing within himself. Very accurate in the middle of the field. Doesn't really compromise himself when he doesn't need to. when I watch Arch Manning, I look at a guy that has the weight of the world on his shoulders, and play after play, he tries to rewrite what we've seen already this season in one play. Like, let me get it all back. And it's like, dude, just play within yourself. What does that mean? Like, steady the ship from your first to your second progression. You cannot go broke making a profit. And it's constant. Second and medium, second and long, third and medium, third and long. And it's like, can we get this guy in some better positions to be successful? And then when you're in the position to be successful, it's about the decisiveness and the poise, which right now is just it's not showing up. And the real issue with Arch and the concern is that once the mistakes happen, they compound. And he just presses more and more and more. So I'm looking at Texas. And I think we always think like, oh, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Oklahoma, we'll see if Mateer's back. You're on the road at Kentucky. You're on the road at Mississippi State. You got Vandy at home. Buckle up for that one. Georgia, Arkansas, Texas A&M. Like, this is a 4 to 5 loss team in my opinion. Even with that defense, which is nuts. So the lesson learned here for Texas is last year doesn't indicate next year's success. And I'm sure Steve Sarkisian's saying, hold on, I didn't expect Arch to play like this. I didn't expect my offensive line to play like this. All right, well, how do you adjust? What does 2026 look like? Oh, we need those guys to take a step? No, we're probably going to have to invest in the offensive line. And Arch is going to need a full-scale breakdown, bring him back to base. How do we build this guy back up again? Because right now, he looks broken. There are flashes of high-level throws, but not high-level play. The only thing that I can really take out of Arch is, like, when you're moving the pocket, that's when he seems the most at ease. And I think you just got to play into that athleticism a little bit more. I mean, there is stuff that he is just not seeing, that he is forcing, that is just like, you can't win that way. He's got a long way to go. It's going to be super fascinating to see what the Arch thing looks like.